Hello! Today's review is going to be on the IGO-W3. What is the IGO-W3? The IGO-W3 is a dripper. Before I show you guys how she vapes, I'm going to show you what she looks like under the hood, talk about all the specs, materials, all that gravy, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to vapor, talk about the pros, talk about the cons, if this product is a waste of your money or it's a bang for your buck. Got to give a shout out to Robert. Robert owns an online vaping shop called trianglevape.com. I also have a link in the description. He was kind enough to send me this IGO-W3 for review, and that's what I'm going to be doing for you today. So let's dive down and check her out. Here is the IGO-W3. As you can see, you got UD's logo on there that says UD IGO-W3. This device is made out of stainless steel. It is a 22 millimeter device. Yes, 22 millimeters. So it fits on all of your 22 millimeter devices and looks flush. It is 26 millimeters in height. You've got adjustable airflow. You got 4 long slots for your quad coils, and you've got 2 slots for dual coils with 2 holes for each side. As you can see right here, and then right there. These long slots and the dual slots, they are adjustable, and you can adjust them to your liking. It is very customizable. It's got a recessed cup with 5 posts. The post in the center is your positive connection, and the 4 posts on the outside are your negative connections. You can do single coils, you can do dual coils, you can do quad coils. Right now, as you guys can see, I've got a dual coil system in here. And unlike the IGO-Ls or the IGO-W version 1, these posts have holes in them. You slide your coil inside those holes to make the connection instead of trapping your coils underneath the screw head. Just like the IGO-L and the original IGO-W, it's got dual O-rings. These O-rings are small. I mean, they're tiny. They're not chunky. The top cap goes on there. I mean, easy. It's almost too easy. We'll go over that in a little bit. The finish is a polished finish. It's a real fingerprint magnet. And you know, I've noticed with a lot of these China products, especially the ones from UD, they really like to polish up their devices. And it really is hard to keep these suckers clean. I mean, I've got fingerprints all over this thing, and I've only been touching it for a few minutes. Again, here is the top cap, and here's what it looks like inside the chamber. And for a dripper, the drippers that I've used anyways, it's a really big chamber. I mean, in height and in width. Alright, so that is what the IGO-W looks like up close. We're going to go ahead and take it back to the original screen. I'm going to show you how she vapes. I got my air hole set up in dual coil mode, which has the 2 air holes on each side. On each side I have 1.5 holes open, which is equivalent to something like a 1.7, 1.8 millimeter draw. I'm vaporing at 20 watts on this DNA 20 box mod. Let's see how she puts out. Well, she's chucking the vapor all right. Fogging the old screen. So I've been vaping on the IGO-W3 for the past week now. I have put it through its paces. I've put a quad coil in there. I've put a dual coil in there. I've put a single coil in there. Pretty much any type of setup you can think of, I've put in this device. So the pros. This device is a 22 millimeter dripper, okay? That's kind of hard to come by nowadays. I mean, most of your drippers like the Trident, like the Helios, like the Atomic, most of those drippers are not 22 millimeters in width. So when you go to screw them on your mechanical mods, it's not a flush fit. That right there is on the Prism, and that thing looks sick as tits. That thing is a sling of beauty. And she is flush. That's a big plus in my book, just because I know there's a lot of vapors out there that are looking for a device that's affordable. With this, it's affordable. Put that bad boy on something that is a $200 plus mod, and I mean, it looks the part. It really does. This device does have multiple adjustable airflow options, just like we went over in the close-ups. It's pretty much endless if you're running it in dual mode or quad coil mode. So unlike the IGO-Ls and the original IGO-W that did not have the adjustable options, this does. that's a plus. The 510 connection at the base is compatible with all the devices that I own. All mechanical mods, all of my variable voltage, variable wattage devices. It fits on everything. Everything I own. It's easy to take the top cap on and off. Boom. Easy peasy, what a sleazy. Even though the O-rings are thin and it's easy to take it on and off, it still holds it well. I mean, it's not going anywhere. The design, aesthetically, the top cap is unique compared to all the other devices. The drippers that I've owned and reviewed, I mean, it's unique, it's different looking. Functionally, it's different. You've got those 5 posts, which I showed you before, that positive post in the center, and you've got the 4 negative posts on the outside. The posts underneath the hood have those holes, which enables you to attach your coils much easier, unlike the IGO-L and the original IGO-W. You know how much this thing was? $16. Dirt cheap. That's a huge plus for you newbies out there that are trying to get into rebuildables, that are experimenting with RDAs. Very affordable. Big plus. Cons. This device caters to your dual coil and quad coil users. You can build a single coil, but the problem is that when you build that single coil, you're gonna have those 2 dual holes open on each side. So there's no way you can block off one side, which sucks, because I find that when I've built a single coil in here and I have both those holes open on each side, it doesn't matter how tight I close that air hole off on each side, it still mutes the flavor. That's one big in my book. I don't know if you see that right there. Maybe a little too bright for you, but I find that this device leaks a little bit. And it's gonna leak. Look at all those holes down there. I mean, your coil and your wick sit down there. That's where you're dripping your juice. I find that it tends to leak on me, which is it's kind of a pain in the ass because I gotta wipe off the juice every 30 minutes. And since those O-rings are not the tightest in the world, it's easy to accidentally twist the top cap, which can mess up your airflow settings. So when you twist it, you're also allowing the juice to come out and onto your device, which gets on your hands, become a mess. And when you have this bad boy in quad coil mode and you have all those air holes wide open, you got to plug up that recess cup with, cotton or whichever wick you're using, because that juice will find its way out. Usually, let's say I'm using something like the Trident or the Atomic. If I've got a single coil mode and I've got just the one hole open over the coil, what I do is I face the coil the opposite direction when I'm vaping, so I don't have to worry about juice coming out and leaking. But with this, if I've got it in dual coil mode, it doesn't matter which way I tilt it, juice is going to find its way out of one of those holes. It really can become a mess. The vaping experience, like I said, I've got it in dual coil mode. I've got a 0.8 ohm coil in here. I'm running at 20 watts. The vape experience to me is not the most flavorful. It's nothing like something that you get off of a high-end RDA, because those devices are engineered for the best quality vape possible. The chamber is really tall, and with it being a 22mm device, it's a little bit open for my taste. The vape is cool and the flavor is muted. Vapor's there, flavor and density. I'm vaping a 6mg juice right now, and I'm not getting the nicotine absorption that I do on something like the Trident V2 or the Atomic. For someone who's a newbie, who's never dealt with, your high-end RDAs, who's just looking into getting into it, I think it would be a great experience. I think that this device allows you to learn a lot about rebuildables, how to build coils, your micro coils, etc. Perfect your craft for very little cost. So would you catch me buying this device if Robert hadn't sent it to me? Probably not. After vaping some of the best RDAs out there, this is like a subpar vape. I've gotten a taste of what's great. With this, it's a little on the weak side for me. That being said, it's only $16. And for a newbie who's wanting to build dual coil and quad coil, go for it. That's my take on the old IGO-W3. This is Rip Trippers. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to comment below. And remember, smoking is dead, vaping is the future, and the future is now.